Welcome to the Love Rekindled Show, where real stories, heartfelt advice, and expert guidance come together to help you create richer, more meaningful relationships. Meet your certified relationship coaches, Margo and Antonio Taylor. Through transformative coaching, informative workshops, and special events, the Love Rekindled community empowers families and couples to grow closer, communicate openly, and embrace the power of love. This is the Love Rekindled Show. Let's begin.
Welcome to the Love Rekindled Show. Tonight, we're talking to a generation that is trying to figure it out. Life, love, purpose, careers, finances, and relationships all at the same time. Dating today looks very different than it did years ago. Social media is influencing expectations. Careers are demanding more of our time. And many young adults are trying to build successful lives while also building meaningful relationships. Tonight, we're sitting down with an amazing young couple in their late 20s to discuss the real conversations that help shape their relationship. So listen, I don't know about you guys, but I am excited about this conversation tonight. So listen, guys, let's talk about it. So without further ado, we want to welcome our guests on this evening. We have none other than Mr. Thomas Jones himself, Mr. Fascion. And we have the wonderful Nkenge Mitchell. She is here. Hello. Welcome, guys.
Hey, this is personal for me. This is personal.
Welcome. So for those of you guys who don't know, Thomas is our oldest child. So we're inviting him and Nkenge onto the Love Rekindled platform because they are the new addition to our Love Rekindled family. They're our youngest couple ambassadors, and we're so excited to introduce them to the Love Rekindled platform. So welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome. Glad y'all here.
So happy to be here.
Listen, I am here for this conversation.
We're not taking it light.
No, we're not taking it light. I am here for this conversation and excited that you guys are on the platform tonight. And we thought that it was important to bring you all on because we all understand that this platform is all about love, it's all about community, and it's all about dating tonight. So we wanted to talk to you all about the difference on how it is dating in today's world. How was it for you guys navigating this space, both being successful in your own right? So we're here to talk about it. So y'all ready?
We ready? Oh, I'm going right in because I need to know how can two successful, ambitious people, how do y'all get together today and start navigating? What was that like for you guys? I'm gonna go right in because it's really hard when you take men and women and everybody have a personality. How was y'all able to put this together and just get on this journey together?
I would say one of the most important pieces of being successful and still putting intentionality into a relationship is scheduling. We had to realize that very fast. I have a busy schedule. She has a very busy schedule. So to find time for each other, we literally had to schedule each other like we schedule appointments, like I schedule meetings at work. We had to put each other on the calendar because
the only thing we haven't done is shared calendars yet. And that's soon to come.
It should, really. So you guys can know when the other person has something going on.
Right.
Well, you know what? I think that's interesting, Thomas, that you brought up scheduling and the calendars, the first thing, because that is something that's very different than back in the days and how it is for you guys now. See, back in the days, we had time, baby. Okay, wasn't nobody being ambitious.
We just on the phone. We had time.
Right. We just wanted to be in love. We just love. But you guys today, you guys have careers. You guys have gone to college. You guys have degrees. You guys have ambitions. Life is different.
And let's be for real, Margo. It's more distractions for you guys. We didn't have a whole lot of distraction. Distractions is everywhere for you guys.
It is. It is. So let me ask you all this. So how long have you all been dating?
It's been 10 months,
Okay.
officially.
Fairly new.
But what I wanted to add on to, not only did we have to talk about scheduling, we came into this relationship very intentional. And I think that is a difference in just wanting to date casually and wanting to date with the goal of something to last in the long run.
So when you say intentional, what do you mean by that?
What do they look like?
Well, we had to come together and talk about what we wanted for our futures. I just completed school when we first went on our first date. I graduated June 20th. Our first date was June 30th.
Okay.
So we had to be comfortable enough to share what our goals and what our dreams were and whether those things aligned. So for me, not only wanting my own business, I do want a family. I want to be able to have this business, to share it with children one day, to share it with a spouse one day. So understanding that not only was my goal business minded, but my goals have also been family oriented and wanting to grow that aspect of my life as well. And for him, having a full-time career and also being a creative, he also has that mindset of, not only do I want to build this for me, but I want to build this for a legacy. Absolutely. And so we agreed instantly on that.
And before we took the step of going down the dating, side of anything, it was also just attractive to see a woman that is doing her thing in her career and still is intentional on making space for that. I hadn't really seen that, in close proximity. So I'm like, wow, she really is not in progress of, she's done it. She's done the hard work. Now she's, getting into the field, but she's still very cognizant of, hey, I do want to be a mom. I do want a family. Correct. I do want a husband. I do want, a life that revolves around, those key principles. And that as a man, was extremely attractive. I don't think I've ever told her that, but those were things that I was like, okay, I ain't seen that before. I feel like, with dating, sometimes you got to give up certain things, and I was like, wow, she well-rounded.
So let me ask you this, Kenzie. What was the biggest challenge for you in the beginning? Like you just finished school, so you got all these ambitions, and now you met a young man. He's ambitious. What has been the biggest challenge for you as a young lady figuring out this journey?
The timing aspect of it, and also just understanding that I can pursue everything at once, but eventually I'm going to have to split my time between my priorities. And some days I'm putting the phone down. I'm not doing work because we're spending time together. Some days he'll tell me, I have to finish this report. I have to finish this. I have to write this song. I have to do this before I do this. So we take a step back, and we're not on, a date. We're not going to dinner at this time because we have work to do. So I think the biggest thing is understanding that there are sacrifices that have to be made. And I think that's a good testament to the rest of our lives, because as our lives continue to grow and change and we become more successful, but we also bring children and other family things into the matter, life is just only going to get more complicated. So I'm glad that we're balancing it and learning to balance it well now, so that we can translate that into the future.
What about you, Thomas? For you, what has been the biggest challenge for you as a young man? Because men and women, the challenges look different at times, but they can be the same.
For me, we go ahead and just get the cat out the bag. Communication.
That's all of us.
Communication. And I knew that would be, I knew that wasn't my strong suit coming in, but just understanding how better communication could facilitate a better environment for your relationship.
Go a little deeper.
I was single for most of my adulthood. I never really had to check in with nobody. I never had to tell people where I was going. I travel for work, so I'm in and out. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. And I could go 3-4 hours without looking down the check and texting XYZ. So, when we first got into the relationship, I'm going and flowing and moving and grooving like I usually do. And she's like, I haven't talked to you in 4 hours, sir. And I'm like, we gonna talk when we go to sleep. Later in the day, we go catch up on everything. And I realized, that wasn't going to work for her. She wanted more, of an interaction throughout the day. And for me, as a person that's busy and also as a guy, I really, I'm not thinking about checking.
We ain't got a lot to say.
Yeah, we ain't got a lot. We'll catch up on everything at the end of the night. And that was something that I had to work on. Yeah. And as I worked on it, our relationship got better.
Good.
Because I was able to peep different signs. And even there's still struggle in that. We have different communication styles. I'm on the phone. I'll talk on the phone. Let's catch up, XYZ. She's more of a texter. She want to text.
I like to talk on the phone too, but I understand
but her schedule,
with my schedule, with his schedule, we're so busy and we're working a lot.
Yeah.
Right. So talking on the phone is here, in there, in between, but texting is more consistent to me.
Right.
I think for me, and I'm gonna give it to you more. I'm just really intrigued, to hear young people, the biggest issues, we just trying to find a way to spend time with each other. And that's really good to hear. I would have assumed y'all would have different challenges, but if it's time, that's a good thing.
So let me ask you guys this question. Did you guys know each other before you started dating, or did you meet like on social media? Or how did that work?
Yeah, we did. We knew each other in passing mostly. We were in mutual social groups, so like friend of a friend of a friend type of thing.
Okay.
And so birthday events or get-togethers, if somebody was having holiday parties, we would see each other. But we weren't like friends or close. It really didn't know much about each other. Most of our relationship really developed when I started, pursuing my creative endeavors, producing fashion shows, and really getting into my music. She was actually like the first person that reached out and was like, I told her before in passing, like, hey, I'm probably going to do some type of a fashion show. And she was big into modeling, and she had been doing modeling for a while at that time. And so when I put the flyer out, she was one of the first people to reach out and was like, hey, Thomas, I remember you said you were doing your fashion show. I'm a model. I'd be more than happy to be in the show. And from there, our relationship kind of started to develop a little bit. She was helping with a lot of the choreography in the show, and her mind is there from her dance background and stuff like that. So that was my first production event, anything. And she helped, set up, the staging for certain things. And then, the next show came around and I needed a model coordinator. And I was like, Nkenge, she killed it last time, and that wasn't even her role or job. She just is helpful in that way. And after that, we really just started building a relationship. It was really after the second fashion show that we completed, and so we had worked together, and then we started working on creative projects just between us two. She was helping me with my stage direction, and we kind of like really started to build a relationship.
I need to know, like, did anybody like each other beforehand? Because we hearing how.
What do you
Because
consider
I
beforehand?
used to be at the shows.
So
And I remember seeing Nkenge.
So typically what happened now, you got to keep in mind, I'm old.
Okay.
So back in the day, you know when you like somebody, and if the opportunity presents itself, it presents itself. So I'm wondering, and I'm asking, do y'all still do that? Do you still court people? Is it just one of those things just innocently happen?
I would say I started thinking of possibly anything romantic after that last fashion show.
Okay.
Like as we were wrapping towards the end.
So what was your sentiment before that of her? Just a friend?
Sentiment was, first, she's beautiful, of course, very intelligent and very driven. Like I knew that about her, but that's also what made me want her on my team
to work with.
Originally, our relationship and how we got close was because I saw her work ethic, I saw her eye for detail, I saw that she has intentionality, and she is a natural teacher and coacher. And I love fashion, and I was doing a fashion show, but I had never like choreographed anything, and that was just naturally her. And I see how she conducts herself with business. So initially, it was a partnership in that. Like, I would love for you to be on my team.
Mutual respect.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't look at him in that romantic lens at all at first. I was very much, if we're going to work together in a business capacity, I want us to have a long-lasting relationship. I saw his ambition, I saw his drive, I saw his dreams and his vision for what he wanted for his future career. And so I was like, this looks like something that I want to be a part of. This looks like something that I can help grow and I can help build and bring my expertise to him. And we can take off as, a partnership, as a working relationship. So at first, no, I was completely oblivious and blind to any romantic advances or anything.
Well, I think the thing is that that's great to know, because a lot of times people in that attraction can be in hidden spaces, and you're right in proximity of each other and just don't really just see it. So at some point, dating stops being about fun and it starts being more about purpose. When did you realize this relationship was more than just a good time? What was that thing that either one of you felt like, okay, it was fun. We saw what each other was about, or we hung around each other with fashion, and, I've extended the olive branch to let them know I want to date. What was that turning point for you guys to say, well, you know what? Like, let's stop playing. What we doing?
I would say, honestly,
Nkenge look right to you. She lied.
I knew from the first date,
answer.
honestly, because our first date conversation was the car. Right. Okay.
Before we went on our official first date, yes, we were planning and preparing for his feature film or feature performance. And so we went to dinner, and then we ended up in the car and we were just talking. That was when he played a new song that he had written. And I was like, yeah, listen to it. Not knowing the song was about me. I was, again, oblivious, y'all. Oblivious. But we had a really good conversation. And
were you really oblivious?
I was, but I told my best friend, I texted her that night. I said, I think he wrote a song about me. I was like, I don't know for sure. And I don't want to blow up the spot. I didn't want to, make it awkward because we were really having a great conversation. And I'm very direct. So I was asking him, what do you want for the future? What do you want for Fascion? What do you want in your career? And for a long time, I didn't know what he did. I just knew he worked out of town and he'd come back. But, so we were talking a bit more about what his career was and what his goals were. Yeah. And so that conversation, something switched in my head, and I think it probably switched for him too at that time.
I think that's what's really unique about you guys, the younger group, because we were so blinded by what we saw. We didn't take the time to get to know. We didn't know how things were aligned. And I just want to commend all of the young people who doing it this way. And not that there's a right or wrong way, but I think there's a better way of doing things, really just getting to know the person and deciding, can we build something together?
Because the thing is, when we were out there dating, you weren't that intentional with, what are you looking for? You want to get married? That's probably stuff you probably ain't even talk about.
I just knew I like your eyes. Yeah. That's just the first. And you got some nice eyes. Let's build.
Well, listen, the thing is this, every relationship reaches that moment.
Yeah.
And when someone has to define it, to say, hey, listen, it's time for us to be exclusive. It's time for us to be committed. Mm-hmm. So you guys talked to us about that moment that y'all talked in the car, and it was this switch where y'all went from being partners and fashion to like, you know what, maybe this is something.
That song is about me.
Right.
Because we knew the song was about you.
Right. Really? So I want to ask you guys, what was that point where you guys was like, okay, listen, we're in a relationship, we're exclusive. We're going to stop playing games. We're getting ready to lock in for the ride. What was that moment for you both?
Well,
what was the conversation like is what I want to know.
I'm thinking that would really be when we had conversations leading up to, but once I officially asked her to be my girlfriend, I think that's when
you had an accent girlfriend.
Let's hear how did that conversation go? Yeah.
It was interesting. We all knew it was coming because we had been around each other's family beforehand.
I was going to say,
our situation was a little different.
Apartment that I'm currently living in now, my little brothers, my dad, my mom came up to help me. Thomas also helped me as well. So he was around my family, and we were all talking, and everything was just so comfortable. It felt like we had been knowing each other for like 10 years at this point. Mm-hmm. My brothers got along with him. My dad and him were joking around. My mom. So my graduation party, let's go back to June of last year.
Let's talk about it.
Before our first date, I had a graduation party after my graduation. I just grilled on my outside pool.
Oh, the grill.
Yes. And I prepared all the food, and then we kind of all cooked it together on the grill. My mom was the head chef. Shout out Mom Pat. I love you. But she was the head chef, and Thomas was helping her. And you're going to have to tell the story about the chicken. But that was the moment where he solidified himself into my family, I will say.
Really? Oh, it's always a moment.
That night.
I didn't know the chicken story did it.
That night, she came to me and she was like, I like your friends. I was like, I like them too. She was like, well, I like one in particular. I was like, who? Everybody generally that was there. And she was like, well, do you like Thomas? I said, oh, Lord. Not you too.
Oh, no. Tell us what you really said when she said it.
I was like, I mean, he's cool, but I don't like him like that. At the time, I was like, teeter-tottering on the line.
You were playing.
I wasn't playing, but I didn't want to jump the gun. And I didn't want to make it something that it actually wasn't until I got confirmation. So I was playing it safe at the time, but my mom noticed it. My friends noticed it. They called me out way before I even started to feel what I felt. So it was nice to know that people around me were watching us and people around us noticed our chemistry and our, I guess, magnetic force to each other because they saw how good we worked together, and that only translated well into a relationship where he's my best friend. So
that's great. I need to hear this chicken story.
So Thomas,
the chicken story. Okay.
Well, it's chicken story, and then it's the day of graduation story.
All right, let's go with it.
well, with all fairness, Nkenge, I can tell you the graduation party was monumental for us as well as Thomas' parents. We've never really talked to Thomas about it, but when we did get the phone call,
babe, I don't know if you should be telling everything.
Okay, you're right. Go ahead, Thomas.
I should be the one to tell you, Mama. So what happened? Because I got the phone call. Okay. He called and he asked about grilling. Like all of them, they have watched me grill. They have learned how to grill. They know it, but he called to get confirmation, which meant it meant something. Because he knew what he was doing,
So
but
when
he wanted it.
Antonio hung the phone
Hold on,
up.
baby. That's a moment. That's a moment.
I'ma
He
tell y'all what
wanted
he
it to be
said.
special, so he called to make sure he got the direction he
Doing it
needed.
right.
So we knew then, hey, it's something. All right, I'm done.
She reached out beforehand and asked, "Hey, could you help with the chicken and stuff like that?" I was like, "Okay, I got you." I'll help
And
on-
forgetting that
on the
he's
grill.
pescatarian.
I'm
Asking
pescatarian,
him to
but
help.
I'm still here to help. You know, I'm like, look, the people want
Listen, you
chicken. I'm
gotta
gonna get a
get
piece
it
of
in how
chicken.
you
You know
get
what I'm
it
saying?
in.
Look, so we helping her mom. I'm helping her mom with the chicken and stuff like that on the grill. So we getting the stuff out. In Kenji's apartment, you need a key card to get in and out of the
Every
door.
single door.
So her mom has the chicken, and so I'm holding the door open, and then her brother's coming in at the same time, and they bump, and all the chicken hits the floor.
No.
So Kenji mama is distraught. She's like, "Oh no, Jesus! Every piece hit the floor, Lord. Every piece of chicken hit the floor." And I'm just sitting there like, oh my goodness. So that's just a story that we
bonded
reference
y'all.
all the time.
It's so
And it's
funny.
just hilarious. And then her mom came back. It was like, we ain't use none of that chicken that hit the floor. I'm like, I don't even eat chicken, so it is okay. Like, I
There
promise
was
you,
more chicken. She
was.
only took half of it out the first time, so there was another half left. It's still in the oven, just waiting to be cooked.
Hey, so guys, I'm gonna go ahead and clear it up. If you was at the graduation party and you had chicken, it's okay. it didn't stay down on the floor long. We have a 10-second rule.
But I would say another thing that follows suit. So that was the day before her graduation party.
No, well, okay,
That
that
was
was
the
the
day
day of the
before.
graduation, and that was like the intimate party. These were my close friends,
Right.
my family that had came from out of town. He was also there,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next day, I had an actual big graduation party with all the friends, all the family, everybody.
Right. And
So
so
he was at the intimate one and the big one.
He was.
Oh,
Any
I got a
reason he was
special
at the
invitation.
intimate? I just want to ask that,
was.
being that you wasn't so sure and you were so, why did he get the invite to the intimate graduation?
You know,
This should be good.
God
talk
just
about it.
put it on my heart.
Put it on God. Oh, okay, that's good.
Hard but no, for
Ain't
real,
God good?
we were working together so much. We had been talking literally every single day. So
Yeah.
in my head, he was one of my close friends. He was one of the people who was supporting me while I was in school. He didn't understand the severity of what I was going through, but every time that I saw him, he would ask me, "How are your classes going? How are your testing going?" You know, giving me supportive encouragement. So it was important for me for him to be there.
Yeah, and I can tell you that's who he is at his core. He's really that person that's going to care and stand in the paint for you.
He will.
Seriously.
Yeah.
He will.
Yeah.
And
Let me ask you all. I want to ask in this space, because you guys, 10 months into dating, how important is alignment? Is alignment more important than attraction? What do you guys?
Absolutely.
Because Antonio brought up, back in the days when we were young,
Amen.
all you had to do was make me feel some type of way. And you could be my boyfriend. So, just asking in this
Thank the
day
Lord
and
for
age
deliverance.
with you all dating, is alignment more important than attraction?
absolutely. I will say I've been notoriously single because
know.
I have high standards. And also too, at this stage in my life, I'm not dating just to date, because I know, things can turn into forever, possibly.
Yes.
So I'm very intentional on who I date at this stage in my life, because I'm looking for a partner. Ultimately, I'm looking to see, God forbid, if I needed her to cover something for me, or if I needed her to lead this meeting, or if I need somebody to have my back for something, are they going to be able to show up in the capacity that's representative of me?
That's big.
And so knowing Kenji, I'm like, I know if I had a Fosse on production and I was gone for a week, I know she gonna run that thing like it's supposed to be ran, ask the right questions. She just has that presence that is, aligned with me. So
Right.
absolutely alignment is extremely important.
I can say that I love hearing that, and I can tell you those characteristics, they also bleed over into house and building stuff together.
Yeah.
So the characteristics don't go away. So that's definitely good that you two share those characteristics.
What about you, Kenji?
I think it's extremely important, and I think it is more important now as we are getting more deep into our relationship, because these are the real questions that we're starting to ask about our future, about our finances. We've had conversations about moving in together and what that would look like and how we will split responsibilities. And so if we're not aligned on simple things like how we're going to communicate, when we're going to talk on the phone, when we're going to meet up, when we're going to spend time together, how are we going to align on paying bills? How are we going to align on growing a business? How are we going to align on future children.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great point, because those are the conversations that a lot of people don't have. They don't even enter the relationship thinking that far ahead. And too, Thomas, to your point, when you were saying, like, I'm just being real intentional about what I'm doing, especially at this age, because you can just get in a relationship with somebody. And like you say, it can be that one decision, that one pregnancy, that one anything where you're tied to that person forever. So, being young and in this dating space, I would like for you both to share with those younger people who are dating, who are out here trying to figure it out, who are successful, who's finished college, who have their businesses, or who's working that job. What advice do you give them? What things should they keep priority while they're seeking a partner?
I can go first and say, keep yourself a priority. Keep your relationships of your friends a priority. I feel like you will always find different partners, or you can find different partners, but your friends, your family, the core values and the core people that you keep around you, those people don't change. So while you are still pursuing a relationship, while you're still pursuing finding your person, maintain those same relationships that you have with your friends and with yourself, your hobbies and your self-care, your skincare, whatever is important to you, maintain that, because your potential partner, they notice that how you carry yourself, how you act, how you speak, how you exercise, those things are noticeable and those things are taken into account. So
Absolutely. And I think that was extremely important too, because I want to know that you have your own regimen, your own life, your own things going on, because I have mine, and we come together and we're blending. But those are those times where I want to be with my boys and we hanging out, we chilling. It's cool. You with your line sisters or your friends at XYZ, and you have your things going on. And it's not like when I take time for me, it's a burden, because you have your own things going on. If I'm not available from 12 to 4 o'clock, you got something else you could be doing. And this doesn't. And so when we do come back later on, it's not like, where you been all day? It's like, now we could talk about,
there's no jealousy, there's no ill feelings toward us going out and doing other things, because at the end of the day, the foundation is there. We know we're coming back to each other. We know we'll still make time for each other. We know there's a time and a place for everything.
And I want to say, because I know, Kendra, you talked about paying bills and different stuff like that. So with couples, money going to impact relationship whether we talk about money or not. It's gonna be a problem. Have you guys had any financial conversation, and what do that look like for you guys having financial conversations? Well, first of all, y'all living situation. Can you tell the living situation and talk about the financial conversation y'all have had?
So living situations right now, when you say living situation,
do y'all live apart or do y'all live together?
So we live apart. We live apart. And I'm in the process of, buying my first home and stuff like that. Pretty soon, y'all be on the lookout for the housewarming. But so I'm looking for my house, and I appreciate that. I appreciate all the support, y'all. So I'm looking for my house now. She has her place in Chambly. So, and I work out of state 4 days out of 7. So I'm a little bit kind of everywhere right now.
Correct.
But we have had the discussions on, at a certain point, it'll just make sense to live under one roof and be split in, whatever bills that looks like for us and whatever makes sense for us. And also to, if we are planning for things like she does want to open her own practice and, we do want to eventually, have a family, and we would have to save for a wedding and different things like that. It only logically makes sense, for me to be paying a mortgage, for her to be paying rent, it doesn't make sense. So we have had discussions on eventually it's going to get to a point where it just makes sense for us to be under one roof. I think initially when the discussion first got brought to the table, she had the I need a ring first and this, that, but I'm like, I understand that, and that's valid, and I understand why you have that standard, because it's a scary thing to step out there with somebody like that. But in this situation, we're a little more, our families are intertwined. We locked in. We're like, look, this is what we're going to do. It for us to do what we want to do at the standard that we're accustomed to. We're going to have to make that sacrifice a little earlier.
Well, the thing is, y'all have goals and plans. Ultimately, you do have to map things out. You know, when you want to be successful in a relationship and you want to do things, that is the smart way to do it. And ultimately, if marriage is the goal, it's like, that's just, you know, put into play what you guys need to put into play for the life that you guys want. And it doesn't have to come from a struggle space. It doesn't have to come from you guys exhausting all of your savings. You guys can really do it the right way and do it your way. But the goal is the goal, if that makes sense.
And the biggest advice I can give you guys, your parents going to have the way that they did things. Let what you guys do be between you guys. Don't allow parents or nobody to dictate how you guys move forward. Have intentional conversation about what y'all want to do and make sure that's what y'all want to do. Don't allow that, because it'll be a problem down the road for y'all.
Yes, absolutely.
I do want to add, when we were talking about the financial aspect of things, conversations that we've also had about budgeting. Because we are both creatives. We do have things that we like to do.
Both of y'all like to spend.
we have expensive taste. I will say that, but we also know that we have goals, and we know that in order to reach those goals, there are sacrifices and compromises that we have to make. So even though we don't necessarily live together, we still do budget for our outings. We just went out of town last weekend, and you know, I paid for the tickets, but he drove. We paid for the gas, so we kind of split things in a way, and we are open with our communication. If I don't have it today, he got it. If he don't have it tomorrow, I got it. So we make sure that we maintain that level of communication. So these conversations are not hard. They're difficult conversations, but it doesn't feel difficult to have them with each other.
I love that.
I mean, I think that's almost like an end game to be able to do that. People work years to be able to do that. And challenges going to come. Relationships, marriages, family, it is hard. But when you can sit down and have certain conversation and keep in the forefront to understand the other person, it ain't nothing you can't achieve together.
Well, you know what? You guys have shared some great information for our couples who are just trying to navigate and figure things out, to hear the conversations that you guys have, the fact that you guys talk about, you know, budgeting was for the future. And you guys are only 10 months in. You've talked about, you know, what are your desires for a family? You've talked about, you know, how do we move forward, the respect, the alignment, all of that is there. And so I love that for the both of you all.
I have to say this too, babe. I don't mean to cut you out because I know where you're going. I want to tell you guys, I'm excited to watch the journey. I'm excited because, and I say this all the time, relationship is like football is in quarters. I love watching the journey of y'all relationship, and I'm excited for y'all. So, and we're going to be here for y'all every step of the way.
Yes, absolutely. So in closing, I have a fun question, but I want to ask.
Let's go.
In the relationship in 10 months, how important do the opinions of y'all family and friends matter when it comes to y'all relationship? How does that sit with you all? How important is your family and friends' opinion about your relationship?
I would say in the beginning it's extremely important, honestly, because your family oftentimes see things that may be a blind spot for you because you're in it. You know, they have more of a bird's eye view. So I'm always receptive to feedback, and I'm also, you know, a lot of times looking to see, what do you think? You know, did I miss something? You know what I'm saying? And so I would say at those initial stages, it's very important, especially because we're both very close with our families. I mean, we value what our parents and our siblings and our loved ones think about, you know, our partners. So in the beginning, it's important. And I would say as we continue to grow in our relationship, some things may become less important. Some opinions may become less important because our relationship is the primary concern.
Absolutely.
So that's how I feel about it. What's your take on it?
I would say I agree. It is very important. My family and my friends, they're the people who've known me since I was a kid. And so they know exactly how I am, and they can see through a person who I'm with whether they're going to be good for me or whether they're not the right person for me. For us, it was interesting in that our families kind of intertwined way before we got together.
Yeah, we did this all
we
in
did
different
it kind of backwards.
The order was completely...
Y'all did it how y'all wanted to do it.
Because yes, Kid, y'all did meet your parents.
You did meet my parents in
Like,
March, right?
Yeah,
And so it was interesting in that there was absolutely no negative feedback from anybody about him. And I think that's the first time that's ever happened.
I want you guys to know some of the best moments going to be so unexpected.
Yeah.
Most things that you accomplish that's going to be great and outside of your mind is going to be things I couldn't even imagine how this happened. You can't set up the greatness that God has for you. You just can't.
Well, you know what, guys? This conversation was amazing. And not because, Thomas, you're our son, but because it was just important and refreshing for the platform to bring a younger couple on that, know you guys aren't perfect, but you guys are doing it y'all way. And you guys are navigating this space of both being successful, both being creative, both being, all that you all are. And so I'm like Antonio, I am here for the journey. I cannot wait to see how you guys grow, how you guys, just ascend in your lives and do all the things that God has for you guys. It's going to be amazing. But we wanted to introduce you guys to the Love Rekindled platform because it's important that you guys understand that love is a good thing. And when you're younger, in your 20s, and you're doing it right, and you're having the right conversations, and you're asking the right questions, you can really set yourself up for the big win. So listen, I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you guys so much for coming and sitting with us on the Love Rekindled platform. And you guys are going to see a lot more of Thomas and Nkenge because they're going to be hosting events for our younger couples for Love Rekindled, and we are stoked and excited about it.
Well, you said it. That's what I was about to bring up. So thank you.
Yes.
And I want to say to y'all, thank y'all for all of the love and support. And I will say, honestly, having parents that are, marriage coaches and are in that counseling space and building that brand of the Love Rekindled definitely, is not anything that I take for granted because y'all really taught me how to have tough conversations, how to work certain things out. So seeing y'all do it in practice also prepared me. That's also why my standards are pretty high. I'm like, I know what this is supposed to look like. I ain't finna be out here just dating any and everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
I know what intentionality looks like. So, if it wasn't for y'all setting that example for me and that blueprint, it would be a lot harder for us to be 10 months in the space that we're in, So I really appreciate y'all.
We proud of y'all.
I appreciate that because God knows, honey, I ain't always been on this side of the tracks, okay? So I'm just excited that I'm better today for it. Listen, parents, it's important that we have conversations with our children. They're out here, they're dating. Be intentional to have the conversations. Be intentional to spend time with your children and the person that they're dating. It's important. It's important. We have to pour into the next generation. So listen, this conversation was everything that I could have needed for this evening. Thank you so much, Nkenge, for joining us. All of the jewels that you dropped. And just so y'all know, me and Kenji share the same birthday, okay? So listen, Thomas went and found him an ambitious moment.
I will continue to pray for Thomas for doing that. I will continue to pray for him. I tried to tell him, but I continue to pray for him.
Listen, Thomas knows what it is, okay? He knows what it is. So I want to say thank you for joining us tonight on the Love Rekindled Show, where real conversations meet real healing, and where love is not just restored, but reborn. Remember this, strong relationships aren't built in the grand moments, but in daily choices, choosing grace, choosing growth, and choosing each other. So a special thank you to our amazing sponsor, Platinum Luxury Fleet. If you are in need of luxury black car service worldwide, visit platinumluxuryfleet.com. For all of your transportation needs, professionalism, style, and comfort, schedule your services with them today. This show is also sponsored by M5 and Associates, a team of licensed financial professionals committed to changing the financial trajectory of our communities through education, empowerment, and financial literacy. Their mission is to equip individuals and families with the knowledge, tools, and strategies needed to achieve financial independence and build a lasting wealth. To learn more, visit m5andassociates.com. Until next time, keep loving, keep growing, and keep rekindling what matters the most. Thank you guys for joining.
We'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Been fun.
Thank you.